Hi, Pandy Pridemore. You're watching How Safe Are You? I am so excited because on today's episode, a very dear friend of mine, Dick Steuerwald, manager of the Indian Hills Shooting Club, is going to help us understand if we choose to have a firearm in our personal safety strategy, how do we know which one? Look, this is a serious question, and Dick's going to walk us through the things that have to be considered. Because again, we're not only talking your safety, but how about the safety of those in your family? You're going to want to see this. So stay with us because we've got even more to share with you on today's episode of How Safe Are You?
Hi, my name is Dick Steuerwald. I'm the manager of the Indian Hills Shooting Club. I am also a certified firearms instructor through the NRA. I've also had other extenuating training in handling firearms and teaching people how to run firearms. If your plan includes having a firearm in the house, or if you're going to conceal carry a firearm, there's some things you need to know, and I'm going to walk you through that this afternoon.
Richard, I am so glad you're here. This is so exciting because I know what kind of an instructor you are. We've known each other for years. You have taught me so much. So I want to buy my very first firearm. It's a part of my personal safety strategy, but what do I need to be considering? You've got some beautiful pieces down here, but how do I know which one's right for me?
First and foremost, I would tell you that what's the intended purpose? What do you intend to do with this firearm? Is it for home self-defense or is it for carry? That's one of the considerations you have to make. This is the first one I would recommend to you is the semi-automatic pistol. This has a good load capacity. It's quick. It's easy to learn to use, and it's very easy to manipulate.
But Richard, that looks too heavy for me. Do you mind?
Not at all.
I mean, okay, I have an average female hand. Mm-hmm. A man might feel this entirely different.
Right.
And when I feel it, it's not necessarily comfortable with me. So does that mean that even the way it shoots is going to be a little different?
The first thing I'd recommend is trying the guns out before you buy them. Make sure that it fits your hand. Make sure you're comfortable with it. Shoot that gun. Work with that gun. You want to be able to pick that gun up and it becomes part of your hand. You want to be able to pick it up and be in rhythm with it, that you know exactly where it's going to go. When you look at the target, that gun goes right where the target's, right where it is. The gun goes right to it.
These guns have been so popular for so long, and people, like you said, you see them in the movies, you see them on TV, mm-hmm. and guns get passed down from generation to generation. But does that necessarily mean it's the right gun for somebody?
Absolutely not. You want a gun that fits your hand. There are so many different sizes of guns. They come in a great many models. They come in a great many features. They come in a great many price points. You can find a gun that fits your hand at a price you want to pay.
And I'm going to guess that that gun shoots differently than that other little one you've got over there on the side.
It does. There's some advantages to this. One of the advantages is that it has a larger load capacity. The magazine itself will hold several rounds. Okay. The quickness of the trigger will allow you to put more shots on target quicker. Okay. The other advantage to this is it's easy. This particular model is a SIG P320. It's very easy to take apart and clean and take care of.
That's very important.
It's also very easy to hide.
And you know, when I talk to women, I also put a big emphasis on lasers. That gun would be suitable for a laser. Exactly.
You can put accessories on this. This mounting here will allow you to put a light. It'll allow you to put on a laser so that laser pointer, as you come around with it, that laser pointer goes right on target.
And that's reassuring in itself.
It very much is reassuring. The more you train with it, the more confidence you'll get with it, the better you'll be with it.
So show me that little revolver over there because that looks really close to the one I have.
This is a Colt revolver. It's very simple to operate. And again, everyone has a great deal of familiarity with this firearm. It's in the TVs, it's in the movie shows, It's everywhere. And it has a long-standing history. If you go back to the Westerns, everybody has seen a revolver in the Westerns. Now, this is a very simple, easy to operate firearm from the standpoint you can see everything that's going on. You can see the cylinder as it rotates. You can see it. You can see the bullets on the inside, the cartridges. You can see when it comes back and it becomes half cocked. You can see when it goes cocked. This is a very easy self-defense tool for home defense because you pick it up, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it jamming. The drawback to it is this particular one only has 6 rounds. So if it were an extended firefight, if it were an extended self-defense situation, you would maybe run out of ammunition before you finish the fight. But something that you have to remember, most encounters of an assault or a violent nature are 3 feet, 3 seconds, and 3 rounds.
Ooh, 3 feet.
3 seconds.
And 3 rounds.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting.
Correct.
But you know what's interesting? And also, that doesn't have a safety.
It does not have a safety. The safety itself is in the long pull of the trigger. This is a double action, single action revolver, which means when you pull the trigger, it both cocks the firearm, releases the firing pin, and strikes the cartridge to fire it. This is one of the disadvantages because in a self-defense situation when it's dark, you're scared, your fingers feel like sausages, your vision narrows to tunnel vision. Those are the things that you want to remember. Big, easy movements, easy to operate.
It has a sight.
It does have a sight, and it does have a little front sight, a little noticeable pin here.
Yeah, that's good. And can I hold it?
Absolutely.
Oh, this feels...
Oh, wait. Before I do that, clear?
Clear.
Now.
A real trainer. Yeah, this feels entirely different than that one.
Yep.
And in terms of price?
You can pay about whatever you want to pay for a firearm. This particular one is more of a legacy gun. This is a Colt. This gun goes back to probably the 1970s.
K-frame.
Very good. You know a thing or two. All right, very good.
Okay, but I have a larger house.
Okay.
And I've got children elsewhere in the house. What if a pistol isn't enough?
If a pistol isn't enough, we're going to go to now my favorite. My favorite comes with this sound. Do you guys recognize that? That, and along with the guitar chords to Smoke on the Water, are probably the most recognizable sounds in the world. And particularly when it comes to a home intruder, he will know that sound immediately to know that you have a shotgun and you're loaded. Very good. I recommend a short-barreled shotgun. This particular shotgun is set up. It has a light. It has a laser, and forgive me, I'm going to have to muzzle you with this, but it is clear. Okay. So this has a light mounted on it, which I won't shine at the camera, but it also has then the laser. The beauty of this is it's short-barreled. You can go around corners with it. It's easy to handle. And from the standpoint of using 2 hands, I can use 2 hands on this, and it's simply a point and shoot.
So the pump shotgun.
You can see the difference. This one's almost, 1/3 the size of a standard shotgun. Okay?
And a lot of women like shotguns.
They're very easy for women and smaller framed people to use. Mm-hmm. This particular one is a 12-gauge shotgun, but 20 gauge and also 410 shotguns are very good in way of home self-defense.
We don't need a CCW for a shotgun.
You do not, and as a matter of fact, you are not allowed to carry a shotgun in the car loaded for self-defense.
Dick, these are great options. And you've given them a lot to think about. But there's one more piece that you brought that they may not have even thought to consider.
If you're going to have a firearm in the house and that is a lethal tool, you also need to consider the non-lethal options. And this is the one that Pandy's talking about. This is a burner launcher. It's relatively new on the market. A friend of mine recommended that I have one in order to train my people with, my students. From what I've experienced so far, I'm very pleased with it. There's a couple really cool features about it. One feature is it's powered by a CO2 cartridge. The CO2 cartridge is inserted into the frame of the firearm, and even though it's in place, it is not charged until a very small fraction of a second when you pull that trigger and that cartridge then releases and fires the projectile. Now,
so no bullets.
This is the 68 caliber projectile that it fires. This one is hard. When it hits, it'll make a mark. It will stop an intruder for a brief second. Law enforcement tells me that the way to load this firearm is to load it full of the pepper cartridges, which look exactly the same. I don't open it because they have a pepper residue on them that'll get on my hands. I don't want to get that in my eyes at this point. Load the concussion on the top of that so that the first thing that hits the intruder is going to be the concussion. Then hit them with the pepper and the pepper and the pepper. That will give you between 20 minutes and 40 minutes to escape, to get away. It's not lethal. When you're talking about stopping the threat, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a lethal situation. If you stop the threat, that means you live, you get away, and everyone goes on. Okay? This
looks like a gun.
Looks like a gun. It loads. The magazine loads like a gun, but you can see that's where the bullets, they're not bullets, they're projectiles. All right? So if you think about, this was once described to me as, it's an air pistol on steroids. It packs a wallop, and it will certainly make an intruder question his life choices at that point.
Now, does this require training just like the others?
The interesting thing about this is you need to be trained with it, but the training is not as intense because it's more simplified. There are really no legal restrictions to this point. You don't need a background check. You don't need a permit. You can have this in your home. You can practice with it in your backyard. I do. I practice with it in my backyard.
Mm-hmm. So let's summarize here, Dick, real quick. If you've given us a lot to think about. Mm-hmm. If we're going to consider a firearm in our personal safety plan, mm-hmm. I'm going to be thinking about what kind of lifestyle I have.
Correct.
My children.
Yep.
Do I have children in the house? Because that's a whole different set of rules as well. But even before that, I've got to think about my state laws.
Think about your state laws. Think about the local laws, because you may be in a locale that the local law will supersede the state law. You have to think about where you are, and you have to be knowledgeable. It's your responsibility to be knowledgeable of the state laws in your locale.
And the last thing I want to make sure that you take from what Dick's saying is, no matter what you choose of these items, please go get trained. Please partner with someone as knowledgeable as Dick, someone who's worked with these for years and years and years, and let them help you determine whether you have the right firearm, you're knowledgeable enough to manage that firearm, because remember, you can be jeopardizing your own safety by having something you're not trained on.
I want to live, and I'm sorry, I walked all over your last statement. Something I want you to embed in your mind, because everyone has this misconception that, oh gosh, in a dangerous situation, I'm going to rise to the occasion. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. You sink to the level of your expertise. You have to think, you have to study, you have to learn, you have to practice. These are all things that fit into this. Nobody should be allowed to go out and buy a gun and then think that they're an expert and come back and use that gun. I know everything there is to know. If I were to give anyone, if you were to give me $10,000 and you would say to me, I'm going to go out and buy a $10,000 gun, I would much rather you buy a $1,000 gun and spend $9,000 on training.
Love that advice. So the question is, what are you going to do now? Is a firearm appropriate for you?
There you go.
Or is there another option? Thank you for watching. We'll be right back after these messages.
My son was shot on March the 20th, 2013. They had been looking for the star witness. They couldn't find him. My oldest son saw him at the U-Haul place in our neighborhood. I called Crime Stoppers and let them know that there was a tip. The star witness in my son's case was in the neighborhood. Call Crime Stoppers. It works.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood. Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Hi, my name's Ray Joseph. I'm with Vance Outdoors, and this is Lisa Roberson. She's one of our lead sales associates here. Once you've been into Vance Outdoors and our staff has helped you pick the correct firearm, we want to make sure and we stress to everybody that just picking out a firearm and choosing the correct ammunition is not the end of the story. The final part of this is maintaining that firearm, keeping it clean, even when we don't use it. Lisa and I are going to step-by-step go through here and explain the different options that we have available in the industry today.
So once you've made the decision to own a firearm, one of the things you want to do is build into your budget a safe. Now the safes that we have are various. So you could have something like this. This is one that you would use just to maybe have in your bedside drawer if you're concealed carrying and you need to maybe make a stop somewhere, the child's school, the post office, you will need to store your firearm somewhere. So a lockbox like this one would be the best option. In the event you're home with your family and your grandchildren or your children and you need to stage your home for safety, an option like this with the manual concealment clock would be a great option so that you're still safe within your home and you have your firearms safely stored. We also have the Life Pod. With Life Pod, this is one of the biometric options. This one is also weatherproof. You can take this with you if you're traveling or say for instance summer events, you're out of the water. This one is floatable. Again, you're still keeping your family safe and storing your firearm responsibly. Okay, then we'll move to this one. This is another staging option for your home. This one is the in plain sight. So it is a shelf. Within the shelf, you're then again able to securely Store and stage your firearms for the safety of your family in your home. Again, in plain sight and keeping your family safe. We also have by Hornady the Rapid Safe Night Guard. This one has a clock on it, so it just looks like it's part of your normal everyday furniture within your home, but again, it is a safe to keep your family safe, and you can quickly access your firearm in the event you need to take care of your family and make sure you guys are all safe. Another favorite would be the Vaultec DS2i. This one is also something that will look like it just belongs there. It's on your nightstand. It's part of your home's decor. But simply putting your finger there, it's biometric. It will then open to present your firearm or any other valuables that you would need to store from children and have it available in the event of intruders. At this time, we will take a look at some other larger safe options.
All right, moving past some of the smaller concealable boxes that you can put your safe in and some of the ways you can conceal it at home. We'll move on to the next step, which are these vaults here, the micro vault, which you can actually, as you put that under the seat of your car, it has a little cable wraps around the seat frame to secure the firearm both in the box and to the vehicle so that it can't be easily removed. We can go into here, which you'll see a couple of different cabinets that you can actually have built into the wall of the home, which open with a key so you can store your stuff in there, your valuables. This one shows it's available for multiple things besides just firearms. But one thing to keep in mind that when you're buying a safe or something to secure that in, a lot of other valuables can go in that as well. But you'll see we have everything from boxes that mount in the trunk of your vehicle. We have boxes that mount in SUVs, and we have larger cabinets that mount in the walls as well. So there are several options still within the home yet and still within the vehicle that we can provide a greater level of security than just a small box. Once again, everything is relative to what your budget is. So when you're looking at your firearm, look at your budget and look at how do I want to carry it, where do I want to carry it, and what is going to be the most secure way to carry it. All right, so we've talked about other levels of security. Now we're going to move over to what we call our entry-level cabinets. So you may have one or two firearms, you may be new to it, and you may just desire that level of security. You want to keep them locked up, maybe you have small children around the home, you're not worried about them being stolen. So we'll talk about our cabinets here. So when you get into cabinets, you've got different levels of cabinets. You've got the standard, very basic entry-level cabinet, very inexpensive. Usually you're going to find riveted seams, not welded. You jump up to the next level, which is going to be a welded seamed cabinet, a little more secure, still not as safe, no fire protection, still very easily defeatable if somebody wanted to. You could stick a screwdriver in there, you could stick a pry bar in there and pry the door open on that fairly easy. You're going to jump up a little bit more till you get into what they call security cabinets. Okay, so when we talk about security cabinets, the vast majority of security cabinets, you're going to notice that they have a simple lock mechanism with a key. Very easy to open. You just have to remember where you keep your key. So keeping the key in a safe place is paramount to the security of these particular types of units. All right, as we move on to our next level of security, you're going to jump up from your standard basic cabinet with a key to it to something that has a little bit more convenience as well as security. So you're getting into the welded cabinet, a little heavier gauge steel, and you're going to start to see things like the electronic combinations where you can just push 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can set that to whatever you want. Tap the button and it's going to open for you. And you're going to notice that on the inside of it, you're going to start to see things like a lip around the edge, which makes it harder to pry open. So this is the step up from the level of security from the plain metal cabinets. And multiple manufacturers make multiple different sizes and styles. And you'll see how they open and close. So in this particular model here, when you open and close it, the door actually slides over and locks in here so that you can't get behind it and pry it because the door has actually repositioned itself. So this one here is a much higher level of security. This one is a much higher level of security than the entry-level cabinets on the end that we showed you earlier. All right, so you've seen the cabinets and we've seen the security cabinets, and now we're going to look at actual safes. And there are different levels of safe and security and protection. One of the safes that we sell here has an entry-level mode, which is the Explorer, which is a true safe. You'll see that it has a combination on the front, standard handle. You open it up, it has about a 30-minute fire rating. So when you think about that, it's 30 minutes fire rating. It's secured by pegs that come out of the side, hold the door shut. When you pry on one side, the other side pulls tight against it. So it's virtually impossible to get into. Not saying it's impossible, but it's virtually impossible. Anybody with enough time and the right tools can get into anything. So this is your entry level. This is going to be very inexpensive as far as safes go. Then we're going to bump up into the next series, or the USA series. And every company that sells safes, and we sell different companies and different brands here, all have entry level and very, I want to call them elaborate safes, but they go from the safe that you'd put in your basement or garage to the one that would sit in your living room. So the next step up is going to be the USA series. And you're going to get the type of mechanism that you saw in one of the cabinets where you open the safe up. And you're going to see that this safe here actually comes with an hour-long fire rating. Weighs a little bit more, has some options in it for long guns, handguns, and different storage options available. Very heavy safe compared to the entry-level safes. From the entry-level safes to the step up there, you're going to look at the safes over here that are even a greater level of security. We'll open one of those up so that you can see inside of it. Whoop. So as you can see here on these locking bars, these come out. They come out on the top and the bottom and the sides. So when the door is closed and you secure it, it is secured from all points. This safe here has a 75-minute fire rating, so we're jumping up in quality. The fire rating is caused by this lining on the inside. You'll see that this has plenty of storage in it, plenty of room. So depending on how many firearms and what type of firearms, whether they're long guns or handguns, this may be the option. This is the safe that has the quality finish to it that you're going to be comfortable with putting in your den or putting in your living room, if that's the only place you have to put a safe. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is we'll move to the different sizes of safes, some of the larger safes, and whether or not those safes are going to be compatible for your home and your need. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about this afternoon is, does the safe that you're choosing fit your needs, and does it also fit your lifestyle? So as you can see, the safe that I'm standing here in front of is a very large safe. It weighs about 1,000 pounds, and it is very difficult to move around. So the thing that you have to look at when you're purchasing the safe is, do I have the space to put this safe? So if you look at this safe, it is about 5.5 foot tall. If you look at the safes, other safes that are as tall as 6 foot, do I have the room and can I get it into the space where I want to put the safe? So we need to make sure that we're doing that. The advantage to a safe like this is it has tons of room in it. So you can put a lot of things in this safe. You can put a lot of firearms in there. It is a very secure safe, 110-minute fire rating. Once again, all of the pins, top and bottom. But the drawback to this safe is actually its size, because if you don't have that availability to get it up and down a step easily, or if you are putting it on a first floor or second floor, making sure that that floor can support the weight of that safe.
A lot of great information, wasn't it? But we're thrilled that you joined us, because we wanted you to think hard. If you're going to add a firearm to your personal safety strategy, what do you need to think about? And special thanks to Vance Outdoors for sponsoring the episode, Lisa, Ray, and then again, Dick Steuerwald at the Indian Hill Shooting Club. The experts who will pose to you, how safe are you?